Well, I'm really proud of our players. I think Fordham is a team. Jeff did an incredible job last year and this year, and he's one of the things that makes him a great coach is he's willing to try many different things. And tonight he came out in a zone and a triangle 2, and they left DeMonte open early. And that's not always the easiest thing to handle for the player, especially a freshman, or for the team. It kind of stunts your movement to a certain degree. I thought we handled it all pretty well. I never felt, like one of our better games where the movement is terrific. I think it was in spurts. But the ball moved. It's a team that forces 20 turnovers. We only had 11. That's a great number. And then came up with some timely steals and forced some turnovers ourselves late in the game. So really pleased with our effort and looking forward to GW.
Coach, it seemed at times, you mentioned the turnovers, that your guys were playing their game and nothing was going to stop them. How do you do that on a defense such as Fordham, especially considering 21 assists? That's incredible.
Well, yeah, it's just such a unique way to play because they're they're not a pressing team, but in the half court, they deny the ball to the next guy. They take so many risks. They're way up there. It's just very unorthodox. And so in practicing for it, you have to make sure that, it's not going to look like anything you've seen, and it's not going to look the same 2 times in a row. So it takes some really good guards, obviously. And, I think one thing we have is, guys who can dribble, pass, and shoot, and that gives us somewhat of an advantage. Because tonight, even the possessions where we didn't score, if you don't turn it over and you've had the ball for a little while, that's a bit of a positive because they feed on those turnovers, and to not give them too many was really important.
DeMonte Buckingham career high 22, and he's just hitting from long range now.
Yeah, DeMonte is such a good player, and he brings a tenacity to us and competitiveness. He's just terrific, and I'll tell you this: he's extremely coachable, and for someone who has had so much success in basketball his whole life, that's really a unique trait. He's extremely coachable, and I think that is what has enabled him to be so good. I think his abilities obviously have given him a head start versus most freshmen, but his coachability is off the charts, and that's really what has helped him the most, I think.
Coach, they cut it down to 4 late there. You guys are playing so well. They whittle it down to 4, and then obviously the team gets a nice close. What did you guys have to do to stop the run there?
Yeah, I think that protecting a lead is always a little bit tricky. So especially against a team that is defending the half court line more than they are the lane. So you're not sure. Should you go attack the basket? Should you pull the ball back out? And so I think we just got a couple of times there where we tried some things. The shots didn't fall, and they consequently scored. But I thought our defense down the end, TJ had a really, really big steal. Then we forced another turnover the next time. Quan had a big defensive rebound. So I thought our defense down the stretch was when we were at our best.
16 conference games left, but you're 2-0. What's the importance of being 2-0?
Well, I would say the biggest thing is it includes a road win against Davidson, who's such a good team, and especially at home. It gives you the feeling that that every conference game is going to be hard. There's as a coach, you never look at it like they're at the bottom of the conference or they're in the middle. I think you just get prepared for the next game. But it gives us a little bit of confidence, and even though both games are tight. We had big leads in both games. I thought we took care of the ball. We did some of the things that we've traditionally done, and I think if we can, capitalize on who we are, that's even better because we're winning the way that we kind of prepare to win.
2 games shooting above 50% after none in the first 12.
Yeah.
Were you guys holding back?
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't necessarily know what that is. I think that. For us, blending in our younger guys has taken a little bit of time. And then, just kind of bad luck maybe on some shooting because I as we were shooting poorly, I felt like we were a team with good shooters who hadn't shot that well. And shooting well helps everybody. And it especially helps us because of who we recruit, how we play. And when we face teams that let us shoot or make us shoot, when you capitalize on that, then you kind of, you have the upper hand.
Coach, what happened to TJ's shoulder there?
So we got hit a couple of times on 2 separate plays and it stung him a little bit. So he's being checked out now, and we'll kind of see tomorrow. We have an extra day of prep for GW, so hopefully he'll be okay and we can kind of figure it out as we move on tomorrow.
along those lines, you have the guys who are out before the game, and then kind of TJ goes out for a while. You got Julius playing 32 minutes, and he had double-digit points, and Joe Kirby kicking in some minutes for you. The depth of your team these last 2 games has kind of certainly been an asset.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's certain things happen during the course of a season, and the last thing you should do is complain about it. You have to figure out what you can do better, who can help, and these guys, to their credit, I mean, we haven't used anything as a crutch or complained. I feel like we've gone out and attacked practice, and we've been pretty good and have had some success here to start the conference season.
To that degree, though, I mean, you lose 2 of your key contributors, Marshall Wood and Grant Golden, and yet it seems the team's playing its best basketball. I mean, where does that come from? Why is that even happening?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they're related necessarily in terms of taking those guys out. I think it's more of a time, and I think that I don't think we've ever played our best in the beginning of the season, and I don't know because we're a team that's runs a kind of a timing offense, but I feel like experience for us is just the most valuable commodity, and the more experienced we are, the better we play.
But a couple of years ago, Doda was out with an injury, and you guys had a real nice run without him, even with a short bench. I'm thinking it's not a coincidence that something is happening.
It could be, and when Cedric Lindsey got hurt, I think we won 4 out of 5 at that. And at the time, I thought he was going to be the player of the year in the conference. And so I think there's something to, appealing to hey, let's tighten everything up and let's make sure we attack this with even more concentration and try to get this thing done. So, I hope that is a little bit of who we are as a program, and hopefully we can kind of continue to play well before those guys come back.
Buckingham's coachability, that final score where he's driving the lane and kicks it down low, how satisfying is that as a coach to see that extra pass?
That's a great play. Because again, it's the way that they're guarding, is kind of taking away all the passes. And so for him to go, and I think he was going to shoot, and to be able to make that pass, in some traffic is really impressive. His sense for the game is outstanding, and the more he plays, the more that shows up.
You're short on height.
Yeah.
You're short on numbers.
Me personally?
No. But I mean, it's just 2 games, but it appears you're starting to carve an identity out.
Yeah, I feel like we are. I think we have to get everybody on board and everybody playing as well as possible. But I do think maybe the idea that, man, like a personal responsibility for every guy. Like, I have to play better. I have to do this. I think that is what kind of is really propelling us to play better and with that much more tenacity.
Your hair makes you artificially tall.
Thank you.
Anything else?
21 assists on 29 buckets. Every starter had at least 2. Chandra had 8. What's that say about your guys' ability to make the extra pass?
Right. I think that's a strength of our team, and so I think when we play Fordham, I think that's put Fordham in a position. Do they want to play and be as disruptive as they always are, or do they want to play and try to confuse us? And I think they tried to confuse us tonight. But when they did come out and extend their defense, I thought we still handled it well, made some really good passes. I think there's a confidence on our team that you're throwing it to a guy who can catch the ball, he can shoot, he can dribble, and so that doesn't make you hesitate to throw it to the next player.